What's up, guys? Ronin Man here. I'm at the gym. Fucking whatever it is. It's a Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. I don't have a job, so I don't know what day it is. But there's like nobody here. It's fucking great. Got the place to myself. It's quiet. I've been here for a couple hours now, and no one's been here. That's great. So Sherlock Homie sent me an email, very nice email, and said, "Thank you very much, Sherlock." He said, "How can I never fall in love again?" And I thought it was a great question. I think a lot of MGTOWs are scared of this one because you're thinking to yourself, fuck, you know your weaknesses, right? You can act tough or whatever, but you know that you've fallen in love before. Every guy's fallen in love. We all have. And you're thinking, well, fuck, like this is my weakness, right? I don't want to get married. I'm not pro-marriage. And a lot of guys on my channel are not pro-marriage, but they're like, wait a second, but I know I'm weak, right? I mean, look at the Ronin Man conference. We've had 2 of them now. The MGTOW Global Summit, we've had 2 of them, and both times we had guys who essentially fell in love with Thai girls when they were here. It happened. It happens, right? So let's blow the lid off this shit. None of this fake shit, guys. The only way we can have a better life is if we're honest. There's no fucking other way. We got to be honest, guys. Let's talk about real shit here. Okay, so how to never fall in love. Is that even possible? Do you even want that? And what would you do and how to handle that, right? Okay, I want to separate love and marriage right away. So I believe that you can control this. I believe there's a way to handle this. And I'm going to tell you my strategy I recommend. Okay, you're a normal person, okay? You get hungry 3 times a day or whatever, 2 times a day, and you want to eat. Okay, and I've told you guys many times, I think it's important that you milk the fucking cow. So you keep your pipes working. So whether you're fucking girls, fucking guys, jerking off, whatever the fuck you're doing, you want to make sure that your pipes are working. Because otherwise you get prostate cancer, you get all kinds of fucking problems. You're going to be down, you're going to be depressed. And these things can't be stopped. These are natural biological functions. Don't fuck with this shit, guys. This shit is not a joke. Your biology is important. You got to listen to your body, right? So you got to sleep at night, you got to eat. There's certain things you just got to do, right? But how do you do those things but also kind of have control in your life? I guess that's kind of what the question is, right? So I would say first thing, how to never fall in love again. First thing is bad question. I mean, it's a great question, Sherlock. It's a great question. I love your comments. But you're afraid, okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say you're not really worried. Most guys are not worried about falling in love. Okay, what they're worried about is what they're gonna do once they're in love. Okay, get married, give a girl a bunch of money, feel terrible, get screwed over. I don't know what it is for you, but there's something that you don't want to do or you're afraid of if you fall in love, right? That's the heart of the matter. It's not that you're afraid of falling in love. Falling in love feels pretty good, right? Falling in love is a pretty natural, healthy thing for guys. And we're seeing more and more people falling in love with robots now. People are falling in love with sex dolls. They're falling in love with dogs. They're falling in love with cities. People fall in love, man. Guys fall in love with dudes. I mean, shit happens in life. You're going to fall in love with a girl whether you like it or not, okay? You're going to be at work or whatever, and there's going to be some girl, or you'll be at school, and she's going to fucking just, for whatever reason, And in fact, the more you try to avoid something like this, like a natural human emotion, okay, a natural reaction, the more that you're going to put yourself at risk. Same with Catholic priests and stuff. They try not to have sex, right? What do they end up doing? They end up being pedophiles and molesting kids and things like that, right? Why do they do that? They do that because they're trying to fuck with their basic body. Don't fuck with your basic body, but at the same time, you don't have to be a blue pill either, okay? There's a way to be red pill and also be a human being, I guess, basically, okay? So I would say there's many ways to look at it. Let me think of a couple ways. Okay, so one of them is I love chocolate ice cream, okay? I eat a lot of fucking chocolate ice cream. Okay, every day I have at least one chocolate bar. There's a chocolate bar here called the Extreme Nama Choco. And it's fucking great. Okay, I eat at least one a day, sometimes 2. Okay, but because diabetes runs in my family, and my family's thin, they're not fat, but still diabetes it's a blood sugar thing, right? Insulin. And my cousin has type 1 diabetes, which is from when he was a child. And he's very skinny and everything, but he's got diabetes. They're very serious. He has to inject himself 3 times a day. So I know that it runs in my family. So I limit how much sugar I eat. Okay, even though I love ice cream, right? So what I'll do is I'll eat 1, maximum 2 ice cream bars a day. And if I find myself eating more, like I did in Vegas when I was very in a miserable situation, I have to look at myself, and I look at the sugar too, but I also say, wait a second, why am I using this coping mechanism, which is very unhealthy? What's going on? What am I feeling, right? So a lot of times what you're doing, you can trace it back to how you feel. And then when you get to how you feel, you can actually, get logically and figure out what is happening that is not good, or what are you being subjected to that's not good? What has changed that is not healthy? You know what I mean? That what is making you uncomfortable? And you can get to the heart of that matter, right? Is somebody treating you poorly, right? Is somebody deceiving you? Is somebody lying to you? Is somebody treating you cruelly, right? Or did a job change? Used to be fun. Company used to be in good shape. Now the company doesn't have money and things aren't good, right? What's changed, right? So you can trace it back to things. So that's why it's very important to keep in touch with your feelings. But let's go on this thing here. The thing is, you're going to fall in love, okay? You're going to fall in love, right? It's a natural thing, right? Whether it's with a fucking robot or with a fucking human, okay? So don't try to short circuit these natural human drives, okay? When you do that, all you're doing is setting yourself up for disaster, in my mind. Okay, so now what do you do? What the fuck do you do? It's difficult, right? What are you going to do? Well, what you got to do, in my mind, is the first thing you have to do is you have to accept your emotions. Okay, that's important. And then the next thing you have to start to logically think about it, right? Just like I logically accept, I logically think about my ice cream. I say, okay, now 2, I feel still like too much, but it's better than going any more. No more 3, no 4. I've never done 3 or 4 ice cream bars in one day. I've done max 2, right? And I limited at that, even though I love fucking ice cream. And the third one still tastes good to me. If I had 10, I probably wouldn't taste good, but the third one still tastes good to me. If you count one whole day, right? Maybe I'll have 1 at lunch and then 1 in the afternoon and then 1 dinner, right? That's 3. No, can't do that, right? So even though I enjoy it, I limit it. When you fall in love, when you find yourself falling in love, I would say the first thing you need to do is you need to enjoy it. Okay? Accept that it's a natural feeling. Okay? And this is good. I mean, it's just like when I enjoy my chocolate bar. If I'm eating my chocolate bar, I don't think to myself, oh my God, I can't have 3. I'm not going to enjoy this one at all. I'm going to fucking hate this one. I got to hate this chocolate bar. That way that I cannot eat 3. No. If I was going to do that, I'm not going to eat any chocolate. I'm going to find a way, just like I stopped drinking, right? I stopped drinking a long time ago. The reason why was because drinking was not good for me. I was, and so I completely stopped drinking. So if chocolate ice cream was unhappy, doesn't bring me happiness, I'm going to stop totally. But it's not like that. I actually enjoy the first bar. Sometimes I enjoy the second bar, but I know that I can't do any more. Okay? So logically, I know. So it's a combination of logic and emotion, natural emotion, and enjoyment. Enjoying your life, right? So falling in love is a natural thing. So let yourself fall in love is my advice. Okay? And that actually lets off a lot of steam, because what often happens after you fall in love is that you often fall fucking out of love, right? Because you'll be in love and then she'll do something and you'll realize, oh my God, she wasn't what I thought, right? She wasn't the same person that I thought she was. She's, maybe you find out that she's lying to you, or she's dishonest. She cheats on you. Maybe you find out something like that, right? Or you find out something else, like she has some kind of morals that don't agree with you, right? She might have a scam company, right? She might have been part of a fraud or a Bernie Madoff type person, right? Something you don't agree with. And she might just be not a very good kisser. She might just be a cold person, right? Who always wants to have sex facing the other way, right? Whereas for myself, I'm a very sticky lover. I like to look in the girl's eyes. I like to see her. I like to feel her. I like to smell her. I like to be with her. Although at the same time, I do like, obviously, vigorous, crazy sex too. But in general, I'm a natural, normal human with emotions, and I enjoy that feeling of oneness with another person. Whether it's a oneness from watching a movie or sharing an emotion or comment on Facebook or actually sex, right? Or kissing or whatever the fuck it is, right? I enjoy that, right? So I let myself enjoy that. But I also keep my eyes open, and I realize that just because I enjoy the sex or whatever, I don't have to fall into a black hole. So get rid of this black and white thinking is basically what I'm saying. So allow yourself to have normal emotions. At the same time, just keep your eyes open and realize that falling in love is a temporary thing anyway. It's not a permanent thing. You don't fall in love forever, you know? It's like, oh, I'm in love. No, love is temporary. The Western idea of love is a temporary thing, okay? It's like a fever. It's going to come, it's going to go. Now, after that, what people do is they make commitments, right? That's different than this feeling of falling in love. So I would say allow yourself to fall in love. And the reason why is, one, you enjoy it. Two, it lets off steam. If you fight this strong human emotion, you're setting yourself up for disaster, because what's going to happen is you're either going to get depressed, okay, because you're not doing what your body wants to do, what your mind wants to do, what your emotions and your natural, everything inside you wants to do, right? What you were evolved to do. That's why you have this feeling, right? The reason why we feel good when we have sex is because our bodies have developed a mechanism to motivate us to procreate. Otherwise, that's why we enjoy sex, is because if we didn't, we wouldn't have survived as a species, right? So these are natural drives, right? So allow yourself to feel it, but at the same time, keep your eyes open. Realize that it doesn't last forever. You got to be red pill on this shit. You got to be red pill, and just realize that it disappears. So start to watch your emotions as you fall out of love. Allow yourself to fall out of love, basically. As you're gonna like lose interest in the girl. You're gonna fall out of fucking love. Allow yourself to fall into love, and allow yourself to fall out of love. Allow yourself to see her for what she is. So when she does something that's, like not so sexy or something, maybe you find out that she's doing something you don't agree with, or whatever, you find something more distasteful, just allow yourself to notice it, and realize that it's a temporary thing, and you enjoyed falling in love with her, right? But you're now finding things about her. She wasn't the perfect person you thought, right? You can see, she farts, she snores. I'm not saying you should dump somebody over these things, but I'm saying, like, things like this, believe it or not, affect your emotions, and they affect girls' emotions too. It's just funny how life is. Like, a girl might be totally in love with a guy, and then he burps one day, and then she realizes, fuck this guy. It's weird, but maybe there was things building up in her mind, and then that burping or that farting when he was sleeping or whatever made her suddenly realize she's out of love with him, right? So allow the things that she does and says and is and wears, and allow those things to affect you. And what will probably happen is you'll find yourself following the standard trajectory where you fall in love and then you fall out of love. And then you just excuse yourself, And that's what I would say with that one. So don't fight it, but also what most guys do actually is when they fall in love, they start falling out of love. But instead of allowing themselves to fall out of love, they fake it. And they start to keep reading her letters over and over. And they're like brainwashing themselves, and they look over and over her pictures. And they try to brainwash themselves into thinking that they're still in love. And they say, I should be still in love with her because I decided to be in love with her, right? Like logical, right? Actually, not really. Your emotions change, your feelings change, and her feelings change, right? So allow that to happen. Allow yourself to fall into love and fall out of love. That's what I would say. It's easy to fall out of love. It happens naturally over time. Allow yourself to fall in love and out of love, and then just to let her go on and do her thing, whatever the fuck that is, right? Live her life, right? So, and then as far as marriage, that's another question, right? Marriage is not an evolutionary imperative. It's not a biological imperative that you have to do. Otherwise, you're gonna explode and you're gonna make mistakes and stuff. No, that's not the way it is with marriage. Marriage is like a contract with the government. It's a dangerous contract. It has no benefit to you as a man. So you can easily avoid something like that because it's a logical thing, right? Just have in your mind, like, I ain't getting married no matter what. You know what I mean? And if there's something called common law, or like if you live with a girl in certain countries, you basically are essentially married. You have to know about that, right? But the love part, that's more tricky. You have to kind of dance with this one. This is like dancing with the devil. You have to allow yourself to go there, but also keep an eye on it, and also to not to fall into the trap, which is most guys do, is they start to convince themselves they're in love. They're still in love, right? They're not in love, man. The whole Western idea of the 80-year-old guy winking at the 70-year-old woman, it's bullshit, man. It's total bullshit. Here in Asia, they don't have that idea. Marriage is a fucking contract. It's not even a contract here. It's more like an agreement to raise children or whatever. It's not romantic at all in Asia. Marriage is not romantic. That's why they always do Western weddings, because the idea of marriage is not romantic in Asia at all. Okay, it's just, in fact, it's the most unromantic thing ever. A concubine is can be romantic. That's a concubine idea is romantic in Asia, but a marriage is not romantic, right? So you can easily avoid something like that. So, and you can have good feelings with all kinds of girls over the years. Whether, I know guys who kind of fall in love with the girls. I don't, like I said, I don't go to prostitutes. I don't like prostitutes. I don't like strippers. I don't like girls who are dead in their eyes. Okay? That's what I don't like. Anybody who worked in the sex industry is dead emotionally as a woman. Her femininity is destroyed. She has crushed it. It has been crushed. She put herself in so many dangerous situations. Often she's been raped because she's put herself in dangerous situations. If she's working in the sex industry, you can still be raped big time, okay? Whether you're making porn or whatever, you can be in a situation where the girl doesn't want to do it and she suddenly has to do it, right? That happens. And all these things, they add up and they make a woman, they crush her femininity where she has to protect herself. She has to disassociate her feelings from her natural human desire. Just like we have a desire to fall in love, women also have a lot of different desires. And when a woman disassociates with her feelings, she's a dangerous woman, because you don't know what she's going to do and she doesn't know what she's going to do. And she can become very, very cold, very, very calculating, and very, very dangerous to you and other guys, and to herself too, right? She essentially becomes one big ball of hurt, and even sadistic revenge, because she's been hurt, right? So you want to avoid that for yourself, and you want to avoid women like that. You want to, if you're going to fall in love with, allow yourself to fall in love with normal girls, and then allow yourself to fall out of love. Allow yourself to notice that love is not forever. It's a temporary thing. I don't know how long it's going to last for you. But after that, it's all about commitment. And if you don't want to make that commitment, you decide not to make that commitment. That's all. And you don't have any regret about that. And you're honest about that. You can be totally honest about that. It's like, I'm not in love anymore. I don't feel that anymore for you. It's like, I'm sorry, I wish I did, but I don't, And then she'll say, well, let's make a commitment. You say, well, that's a good idea. I mean, somebody wants to do that. And then you got to think about whether you want to do whatever it is that she wants to do, because you don't have anything pushing you to do it. You don't have any, you're not in love anymore, right? So this makes the decision easier, because no longer are you pushed by this illogical love when you're being asked to make a logical decision. So like when you're starting a company, you don't fall in love with a technology. No, you look at it as business. You look at the possibilities. You look at innovation. You look at technology adaptation and this and that, and funding, and you make a decision, a rational decision. If you're going to make a commitment to say raise a child or something, you have to decide that on a logical level, not an emotional level. So falling in love is an emotional thing. Allow yourself to do it, and then but be very disciplined when it comes to making rational, logical, almost like business-like decisions, because that's a different thing for you, and the consequences are different, and also commitments are more permanent, right? Whereas love is not. Love is something it's like a song. A song ends, a song begins, a song ends. A movie starts, a movie ends, right? Childhood starts, childhood ends. Life begins, life ends. A flower blooms and a flower dies. Sun comes up, sun goes down. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So if you try to avoid the sun, right, it's going to be depressing, right? So allow yourself to see it, but just know that it's going to fucking go down, and then accept when it goes down, and then don't let anybody pressure you into making any stupid decisions that you don't want to make. Basically, yeah, that's the way you protect yourself. You don't protect yourself by letting yourself, letting your emotions and letting your drives and letting your human stuff, for lack of a better word, build up, because you're going to end up falling in love. You're going to end up making a commitment to the worst possible girl if you do that. Okay? So roll with it. It's almost like my theory of a clean desk. You got your to-do list, and it goes on your desk, and everything on my to-do list is like a clean desk. It's there, I do it, it's gone. It's there, I do it, it's gone. My desk is clean. I don't have anything on my desk because there's nothing. I do things as they come up, right? That's the way you want to do with your emotions. Deal with them, feel them, enjoy them, let them pass. Accept them passing. And accept the pressure that society puts on you, because society is going to say things like, hey, you were in love with this girl, so now you have to stay with her for the rest of your life. And now, as a rational man, you're like, wait a second, why, when I had a temporary emotion, am I forced by my parents or by society to stay with this girl forever? Is this what everybody does? Is this inevitable? Do I owe it to her? Is my natural, innocent feeling of affection for this girl, is that a crime? Is that going to be used against me? Because I had this natural, innocent emotion for a woman, does that mean I have to now pay millions of dollars? No. You're allowed to have emotions. You're allowed to be a human being. Allow yourself to do that. And then don't allow people to push you around, because just because you had natural love and emotion, that doesn't mean you have to do anything afterwards. You still have control of the decisions and the logical things and the financial things and the time commitments. You have the button is in your hand. The decision is there, and you can make that, and don't feel guilty about it. Be honest with yourself, and the more honest you are with yourself, the easier it will be to make a decision. And when you make a good decision, the reason why people push you around is because they look in your eyes and they see that you're unsure. It's kind of like when a guy is changing. Okay, the guy is, he's going to go do something new, right? He's going to start wearing, flashier clothes, and he goes out, and then his friends make fun of him, like, you look like an idiot, and the guy's like, he's not sure. He's like, oh, I like this new shirt. Oh, it's pretty, and then the guys and friends are like, take a fucking thing. You look a fucking fuck. Guys are giving him shit. And then he's like, he feels terrible. And he never wears it again, right? Whereas once you're committed and you say, hey, I like this shirt. I like a pink shirt. You know what I mean? I like an orange shirt, right? And then the guys are like, oh, you're like, yeah, it looks good on me. Fuck you, You don't want to wear fucking shit that looks good on you? Go ahead and fucking dress in a fucking gas station fucking uniform if you want, For me, I like to wear decent shit, I want a good life, I brush my fucking hair. Actually, I don't brush my hair, but my hair's so short I don't need to. But I mean, I keep myself groomed, right? I do my thing and I'm confident in it, right? So when you're confident in stuff, society will not push you around. The reason why guys get pushed into marriage because they fall in love is because they're not confident. They don't realize it's a temporary thing and that they enjoyed it. I'll tell people, look, I had a very strong emotion for this girl. I loved her this much, and I thought about her that much. And I wrote this poem, and I was up all night thinking about her, and we made love this, and we did this, and I'll get into it because it's the emotions I felt for people are real, and it's like they're natural. But when they die, when they end, because they're not forever. When they end, I accept that too. I accept my feelings. I accept her feelings. At the same time, I also take responsibility for my financial and my time and my life and my decisions. And I have the right to make a smart decision that's going to benefit me. At the same time, I do want to think about others, and I do want to think of win-win stuff because that's my value system, right? I'm going to think of others. I'm not just thinking of myself. But at the end of the day, I have to make a decision, right? What's the best decision? I'm not going to let society push me around. No fucking way. And you don't have to either. And the fact that you fell in love, it's like, that is not a reason for you to now be locked into something that sucks, okay? And even if you did, okay, let's say you did. Let's say that everybody pressured you and your family to marry this girl, even though you don't love her anymore, okay? The feeling is now gone. You don't love her anymore. You don't want to have a baby with her. And you're going to let society pressure you into doing that. Is that even good for your child? Is that even good for yourself? Is that even good for her? No, it's not fucking good, right? So being in touch with your emotions allows you to make more powerful decisions and also things that are more beneficial for yourself and society in general, right? Because you know who you are. You're honest about who you are. You move forward and you allow yourself to feel feelings, go through things, and then you allow yourself to enjoy them. And then you also allow yourself to be honest when it stops. And you say, hey, it ain't happening anymore. I don't have that love for her anymore. That bond has been broken. It ain't there anymore. And it ain't ever coming back. Right? And you know that. And you're in touch with your feelings. And this is what protects you. This is what protects you. What most guys do is they do the opposite. They're like, oh, I'm not going to get married, fucking bitches, blah, blah, blah. And then they fucking fall in love totally. And then once they fall in love, they're like, oh, I got to do it. My mom and I owe it to her. And, why do you think I still, okay, it's like they make the fucking worst decisions ever. And nobody fucking appreciates it. The girl doesn't appreciate it. Nobody appreciates it. A guy who's honest with himself. He's raw. He's fucking real. Girls love that. Guys love that. Society loves that. Don't allow yourself to be pushed around. Be in touch with your feelings, but also be in control of your fucking decisions. And be confident in who you are. Don't push other people around either, right? Fuck pressuring other people to do shit. The more you control your own life, the more attractive you're going to be to your friends too. Because your good friends are going to be like, fuck, this guy's decisive. He's smart. He follows his fucking intuition. And they're like allowing everybody to push them around. They feel like shit, right? Fuck that. Absolutely fuck that. You want to be a man who knows he's like a Renaissance man. He has emotions. He falls in love. He cries. And he also is very, very, very cold in the sense that he realizes when things are dying, right? He pays attention. He's like, I don't feel that same way about her anymore. I used to love going to here with her, but I don't anymore, I said in one of my podcasts is like how you feel when you see a girl walking towards you or when you walk around a corner and you see her, that's going to change over time. And it's like a feeling, right? That's what you want to feel. Are you happy to see her? Sometimes I'll see somebody and I'll have this huge smile on my face. Even if she can't see me in the dark, I'll just be so happy to see her, right? Other times I'll look at her and I'll feel like either not happy or even like unhappy, right? That's what you want to be in touch with. It's that primal fucking emotion, that feeling that you have with her, right? That's what that's what you feel. You roll with it, and then when it goes away, you roll with that, right? You roll in, you roll out. That's where your power lies. By learning how to roll in and roll out of life. Roll in and roll out of feelings. This is where your power lies. It's not in damming up things. Okay? All right, guys. I hope that helped, and I hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for subscribing. And if you guys want deep fucking help, like personal help, join Unblackmailable. It's $1,000, $998, but I tell you, I give you my best. I just had a great bunch of sessions with one of the guys who came to the first conference. He was here, Steve, and we went so deep. It was fucking awesome. Steve, thank you so much. That was very meaningful for me too. And, I gained so much from this, guys. I gained so much. But I learned about myself too. So thank you for being there. Thank you for fucking supporting in every way, emotionally, mentally, the emails you send, the fucking comments you leave. Kenyan man, I fucking love your comments. Every day I read them, So thank you guys. Have a good one, and I'm going to finish my workout later on.